The bathroom tiles were cold beneath her feet at 3 in the morning. Rachel stood outside her bedroom door, one hand pressed against her pregnant belly where her twin daughters kicked and turned. The other hand gripped the door frame as her husband's voice drifted through the crack. "I know, baby. I know it's hard, but I can't leave her now. Not while she's dying." Rachel's heart stopped. Who was he talking to at 3 a.m.? "After the babies come, we'll figure it out. She won't last long after delivery. Her oncologist said the cancer will spread fast once the pregnancy hormones drop." The words hit like ice water. He was talking about her death, like it was a business transaction, like he was waiting for it. "I love you too, Vanessa. This will all be over soon. I promise." Rachel stood frozen in that hallway. 8 months pregnant with twins, stage 3 cancer, and her husband of 8 years was planning his future. Without her, with someone else. But what she found in his office the next morning would make that phone call look almost kind, and the stranger's business card that arrived in her mailbox that afternoon would change everything. His handwritten note said, "I know what your husband is doing. We should talk, for your daughter's sake." The signature? Dominic Sterling, billionaire, her husband's biggest rival, the man Bryce called ruthless and cutthroat. "This is the story of how I survived betrayal, cancer, and premature birth, how I fought for my daughters when their father was counting down my death, and how the last person I expected became the father my children deserved. Stay with me, because what happened next, no one could have predicted." The bathroom tiles felt cold against Rachel's bare feet. 3 in the morning. Again. The twins pressed against her bladder with what felt like synchronized kicks. Emma and Lily. That's what the ultrasound technician had said 2 weeks ago, pointing at the screen with her pen. 2 girls, 2 heartbeats, 2 lives depending entirely on Rachel making it through the next 8 weeks. Rachel steadied herself against the doorframe. Her hand found the smooth wood, fingers spreading wide for balance. The nausea from the chemo had mostly passed, but the exhaustion never left. It lived in her bones now. Heavy, persistent. Bryce's voice drifted through the bedroom door. Low, intimate. The tone he used to use with her back before the pregnancy, before the diagnosis, before everything turned gray. "I know, baby. I know it's hard." Rachel froze. Her hand gripped the doorframe tighter. "But I can't leave her now. Not while she's dying. You understand that, right?" The words hit like ice water. Rachel's other hand moved to her belly. The babies kicked again, as if they knew, as if they could feel her heart trying to break through her ribs. "After the babies come, we'll figure out. She won't last long after delivery. Her oncologist said the cancer will spread fast once the pregnancy hormones drop." A phone call. He was on the phone at 3 in the morning, discussing her death like a business transaction. "I love you too, Vanessa. This will all be over soon. I promise." Vanessa Cole, the marketing director at his company, the woman who always laughed too loud at Bryce's jokes during company parties. The woman who'd sent a sympathy card when Rachel was diagnosed. A card that said, "Thinking of you during this difficult time." Rachel walked backward, slowly, carefully. Her feet found the guest bathroom. She sat on the edge of the tub, fully clothed, still wearing her maternity pajamas with the faded flowers. She stared at the opposite wall, at nothing, at everything. Her phone sat on the counter. She picked it up, unlocked it. The screen brightness hurt her eyes. She locked it again, unlocked it, locked it, unlocked it. The motion repeated. Automatic, meaningless. She couldn't stop. Checking for what? A message saying this was a dream? Proof that her life was still real? The cancer diagnosis had come 3 months ago. Stage 3. Aggressive. The oncologist had been a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and a gentle voice. Dr. Patricia Reeves. She'd sat across from Rachel and Bryce in that sterile office and laid out the options with clinical precision. "You're 12 weeks pregnant. The cancer is advancing. We need to start treatment immediately." "What about the baby?" Rachel had asked. Babies, as it turned out. Twins. "Termination would allow us to begin chemotherapy right away. Your prognosis would improve significantly." Rachel's hand had moved to her stomach, to the tiny lives growing there. 12 weeks, barely formed, but alive, her daughters. And if I wait until after delivery? DeReeves had hesitated, just for a moment. The cancer will continue to grow. We can do modified chemotherapy during pregnancy, but it won't be as effective. After delivery, we'd need to start aggressive treatment immediately. But by then, she hadn't finished the sentence. She hadn't needed to. Rachel had chosen life. For her daughters. Not knowing their father was choosing death. Hers. She sat in the bathroom until dawn. The tiles left marks on her thighs. Her legs went numb. The baby shifted and kicked, reminding her, stay alive, stay strong, for us. When the sky turned purple, then pink, then gold, Rachel stood. She washed her face. Cold water. Soap that smelled like lavender. She looked at herself in the mirror. Pale, thin. The chemo had taken most of her hair. What remained hung limp around her face. But her eyes were clear, focused. She walked downstairs, made breakfast, scrambled eggs, toast, orange juice. Bryce's favorite. The smell of butter in the pan made her stomach turn. But she kept cooking, kept moving, and automatic, efficient. Bryce came down at 6:30, fresh from his morning run. His shirt clung to his chest. Sweat darkened his hairline. He kissed her cheek, the same lips that had whispered love to another woman just hours ago. Morning, beautiful. His voice was cheerful, easy. How are you feeling? Tired. The twins keeping you up? Something like that. He ate breakfast, checked his phone, laughed at something on the screen. Rachel watched him, really watched him, tried to see the monster beneath the man, but he just looked like Bryce, her husband of 8 years, the man who'd proposed on a beach at sunset, the man who'd held her hand during every doctor's appointment, until now. I have meetings all day, he said, standing. Probably won't be home until late. Don't wait up. Okay. He kissed her forehead, gentle, tender, performance art. The door closed behind him. His car started in the driveway, pulled away. Rachel sat at the kitchen table, alone. The eggs congealed on her plate. The toast grew cold. The orange juice separated in the glass. She picked up her phone, scrolled through her contacts, stopped at one name. Claire Donovan, her best friend since college. A family law attorney now. Divorced. Cynical about love. Always honest. Rachel typed a message. Can you come over? The response came 30 seconds later. On my way. Rachel waited. The kitchen clock ticked. The refrigerator hummed. The babies kicked. Life continued. Relentless. Unstoppable. But something had shifted. Some fundamental understanding of reality had cracked. Rachel could feel it. Like ice breaking beneath her feet. She was falling. But maybe, just maybe, she could control the descent. Claire arrived 45 minutes later. She brought coffee, real coffee from the good place downtown. Not the decaf garbage everyone insisted Rachel drink. Strong, dark, perfect. Tell me, Claire said. No preamble, no small talk. Rachel told her. Everything, the phone call, the words, the tone, the casual certainty that she'd be dead soon. Claire's face went hard. That son of a... I need to know more, Rachel interrupted. I need evidence. You're thinking divorce? I'm thinking survival, for me, for the babies. I need to know what I'm dealing with. Claire pulled out her laptop. Let's start with his digital footprint. Email, social media, bank accounts. Do you have access? His laptop. The password is our wedding anniversary. Of course it is. Claire's smile was sharp, predatory. Let's see what your loving husband has been hiding. They spent the next 3 hours in Rachel's home office, going through files, reading emails, following digital breadcrumbs. What they found made the phone call look almost kind. Email after email, text after text, and years of messages, not just to Vanessa, to other women too. But Vanessa was different, special. The messages to her went back 18 months, long before the cancer, long before the pregnancy. Can't wait until you're free. I've already started looking at houses for us. Something with a big yard for when we have our own family. Real family. Real family. As if the children inside Rachel weren't real. As if 8 years of marriage were just a prologue to his actual life. Claire kept digging, found bank statements, Rachel's life insurance policy. $2 million. The beneficiary had always been Bryce, but the amount had been increased. 6 months ago, right before they'd started trying for a baby. He planned this, Claire said. Her voice was flat, professional, but her hands shook slightly on the keyboard. Rachel, this is premeditated. Can we prove it? In divorce court, absolutely. In criminal court, that's harder. But we can destroy him financially, emotionally, legally. He'll wish he'd just asked for a divorce. Rachel leaned back in her chair. The babies kicked, strong kicks, angry kicks. Good, be angry, stay strong. Do it, Imagine, she said, and whatever it takes. I want him gone, and I want my daughters protected. Claire nodded, started taking screenshots, saving files, building a case. The doorbell rang. Rachel and Claire looked at each other. You expecting someone? Claire asked. No. Rachel went to the door, looked through the peephole. A delivery person stood on the porch, young, bored, holding an envelope. She opened the door, signed for the delivery. The person left without a word. The envelope was heavy, expensive paper, cream-colored. Her name written in fountain pen across the front. Inside was a business card, thick stock, embossed lettering, Dominic Sterling, Sterling Technologies. On the back, a handwritten note in the same elegant script. I know what your husband is doing. We should talk, for your daughter's sake. A phone number, nothing else. Rachel's hands started shaking. She showed Claire. Dominic Sterling? Claire's eyes went wide. The Dominic Sterling? The tech billionaire? You know him? Everyone knows him. He's Bryce's biggest competitor. They've been fighting over contracts for years. Bryce calls him ruthless, cutthroat, the man who destroys competitors without mercy. Rachel looked at the card again, at the note, for your daughter's sake. How would he know about Bryce and me? Sterling knows everything. He has resources we can't even imagine. If he's reaching out, it's because he has information, or because he wants something. Rachel sat down on the couch. The card felt heavy in her hand, like it weighed 1,000 pounds, like it might change everything. Should I call him? She asked. Claire was quiet for a long moment. I think you should, but not alone. I'll be here. We'll put him on speaker, see what he knows, see what he wants. Rachel nodded, picked up her phone, dialed the number. It rang once, twice. Mrs. Hartley? The voice was deep, controlled, certain. Thank you for calling. I've been hoping you would. Rachel's finger hovered over the speaker button. She pressed it. Claire leaned closer. Both women stared at the phone like it might explode. Mr. Sterling, Rachel said. Her voice didn't shake. Small victory. Your note was cryptic. How do you know about my situation? Your husband isn't as discreet as he thinks. Vanessa Cole works for him, but her apartment? I own the building. My property manager mentioned his car in her parking spot. Frequently. Late nights, early mornings, I had someone look into it. You had someone investigate my husband? I had someone investigate my competitor. The personal details were collateral. But when I learned about your condition, about the pregnancy, about his plans, he paused. I couldn't ignore it. Claire mouthed the word recording and held up her phone. Rachel nodded. Why do you care? Rachel asked. We don't know each other. Silence stretched across the line. 10 seconds. 20. When Dominic spoke again, his voice was different, softer, more human. Because I know what it's like to be betrayed by someone you trusted. My wife left me when our son was diagnosed with leukemia. He was 3 years old, facing death, and she walked away, took half my assets and started a new life like we'd never existed. I'm sorry. Don't be. She did me a favor, showed me who she really was, but I learned something important about loyalty, about what matters, about showing up when things get hard. Rachel's hand moved to her belly. The babies were quiet now, resting. She envied them. What do you want from me, Mr. Sterling? Nothing. I want to give you something. Options, power, a fighting chance. I'm listening. Your husband's company is in debt. Not public knowledge yet, but I own their primary creditor. Bought it last week. When I call in certain debts, his firm will collapse. Unless you need it not to. Unless keeping him employed serves your interests. Claire grabbed Rachel's arm, squeezed. Her eyes were huge. You do that? Destroy his company? I do that and more. Men like your husband need to learn that actions have consequences, that you can't betray someone at their most vulnerable and walk away clean. What else can you do? Provide legal resources, financial support, security if needed, access to the best oncologists in the world. Whatever you and your daughters need, I have resources. I'd like to use them to help you. Why? Rachel's voice broke slightly. Why would you do this for a stranger? Because I can, because it's the right thing to do, and because no woman should face what you're facing alone. Rachel closed her eyes. Tears were pressed against her eyelids. She refused to let them fall. I need to think about this. Of course, take all the time you need. But Mrs. Hartley, one more thing. Yes? Your husband increased your life insurance 6 months ago, but he also took out a policy on the twins. $500,000 each. Beneficiary is him. The policies are dated before they were born, before you even knew you were having twins. The room tilted. Rachel grabbed the arm of the couch. He insured my babies? Before they were born, yes. Claire stood up, started pacing. Her lawyer face was on, cold, calculating. That's legal, she said. Parents can insure their children. But the timing is damning, Dominic finished. Combined with everything else, it paints a clear picture. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. Rachel couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. The babies kicked, hard, angry, fighting. I'll send over my contact information, Dominic said. And Mrs. Hartley, please call me Dominic. We're going to be working together. Might as well use first names. Rachel, she whispered. Call me Rachel. Rachel, get some rest. Tomorrow we start fighting back. The call ended. Rachel sat frozen. Claire was still pacing, muttering, planning. This is insane, Claire said. Completely insane. Sterling is offering to go to war with Bryce, for you, for free. Nothing is free. True, but sometimes people do things because they can, because they want to. He's a billionaire, Rachel. Money doesn't mean the same thing to him. But revenge, justice, that's currency he understands. Rachel looked at the business card still in her hand. Heavy paper, expensive, real. She turned it over. Read the note again, for your daughter's sake. I need air, she said. She walked outside. The afternoon sun was warm, too warm. She sat in her car, in the driveway, key in the ignition. But she didn't turn it, didn't start the engine. Just sat, staring at her house. At the door, Bryce would walk through later, pretending everything was fine. 20 minutes passed. The neighbors probably saw her. Mrs. Chen next door was always watching, always judging. Let her judge. Let them all judge. Nothing mattered anymore except survival. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Dominic. My lawyer will contact Claire tomorrow with paperwork. In the meantime, eat something. Rest. You're going to need your strength. Rachel stared at the message, at this stranger who somehow knew she hadn't eaten today, who cared enough to tell her to rest. She went back inside. Claire had made sandwiches, turkey and cheese, Rachel's favorite from before the pregnancy, when food had tasted like food instead of cardboard. They ate in silence. When they finished, Claire hugged her. Long, tight, the kind of hug that said everything words couldn't. We're going to destroy him, Claire said. Together, you, me, and apparently a billionaire with a grudge. Bryce picked the wrong woman to betray. Rachel nodded against her shoulder. But she wasn't thinking about destruction. She was thinking about survival, about 2 tiny lives inside her who needed their mother, about making it through the next 8 weeks. Then the next, then the next. That night, Rachel ran a bath, filled the tub with warm water, sat on the edge for a long moment. Then, still fully clothed, she slipped into the water. Her maternity dress ballooned around her, air trapped in the fabric. Then it soaked through. The weight of the wet cotton pulled at her, dragging her down. She let it, just for a moment. Let herself sink beneath the surface. Let the water cover her face. Let the world go quiet. The babies kicked. Hard. Protesting, angry, fighting. Rachel surfaced, gasped, pulled herself up, sat in the tub, soaking wet, breathing hard. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay, I'm here. Mommy's here." She climbed out, stripped off the wet clothes, wrapped herself in a towel, looked at herself in the mirror. Her wedding day replayed in her mind. Bryce in his tux, her in white lace. His vows, in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, till death do us part. The words echoed, again, again. Each repetition carved deeper. She'd meant them, every syllable, every promise. While he'd been planning an exit strategy, had he ever loved her? Had any of it been real? Rachel went to bed, alone in the guest room. She locked the door. At 2 in the morning, Bryce came home. She heard him moving through the house, opening doors, looking for her. He knocked on the guest room door. "Rachel, you in there?" She didn't answer. "Babe, are you okay?" She stayed silent, barely breathing. He tried the handle. Locked. "Rachel, you're scaring me. Please say something." "I'm sleeping in here tonight. The twins are kicking too much. I can't get comfortable." A pause. Want me to come in? I can rub your back." "No, I need to be alone." Another pause. Longer. "Okay, if you need anything, just knock." His footsteps retreated. Rachel exhaled. The babies kicked. Softer now, gentler, like they understood. She picked up her phone, texted Dominic. "When can we meet?" The response came immediately. "Tomorrow. 2 o'clock. I'll send a car." Rachel set the phone down, closed her eyes. Tomorrow. Everything would change tomorrow. But first, she had to make it through the night. The car that arrived at 1:45 was not what Rachel expected. She'd pictured something ostentatious. A limousine, black, tinted windows, the kind of vehicle billionaires used in movies. Instead, a simple gray sedan pulled into her driveway. The driver was a woman in her 40s, professional, kind face. She opened the back door without ceremony. "Mrs. Hartley, I'm Grace. Mr. Sterling sent me." Rachel climbed in. The seat was leather, comfortable, not showy, just quality. The kind of understated luxury that didn't need to announce itself. They drove through the city, past downtown, into an area Rachel rarely visited. Old money, historic homes, trees older than the country. Sterling Technologies occupied a converted mansion. Red brick, white columns, beautiful in an effortless way. Grace pulled into the circular driveway, helped Rachel out of the car. "He's waiting in the library," Grace said, second door on the left. The foyer was bright. Sunlight streamed through tall windows. Fresh flowers sat on a round table. White lilies, their scent filled the air. Heavy, sweet, too much. Rachel found the library, knocked once. The door opened before her knuckles left the wood. Dominic Sterling was not what she expected either. Tall, yes. Well-dressed, certainly. But younger looking than his 45 years. Silver threaded through his dark hair, laugh lines around his eyes. The kind of face that had earned its appearance through living, not just aging. "Rachel." He extended his hand. His grip was warm, firm, not crushing, just present. "Thank you for coming. Please sit." The library was exactly what it should be. Books on every wall, floor to ceiling, a desk by the window, 2 leather chairs facing each other, a fireplace unlit. Rachel sat. The babies kicked. She winced. "Are you in pain?" Dominic asked, immediately concerned. "No, they're just active today." "May I?" He gestured to a small refrigerator hidden in a cabinet. "I have ginger tea. My wife used to drink it when she was pregnant. It helped with the nausea." "You remember what your wife drank?" "I remember everything about that time. The good parts, anyway, before she left." He poured the tea, handed it to her. The cup was warm. The scent was perfect. Not too strong, just right. Rachel sipped. The babies calmed, as if they'd been waiting for this. How is your son? She asked. You said he had leukemia. Thomas, he's 8 now, healthy, in remission for 5 years. He's at school right now. I'd like you to meet him sometime, if that's appropriate. You told him about me? I told him I was helping a friend, that she needed support. He understands what that means. He lived it. Rachel set down the tea, looked at this man, this stranger who knew her husband's secrets, who'd sent a car, who remembered what pregnant women needed. Why are you really doing this? She asked. Dominic was quiet. He walked to the window, looked out at the garden, spoke without turning around. When my son was diagnosed, I was terrified, but I had resources, money, access to the best doctors, experimental treatments, everything anyone could need, and she still left. My wife. She walked away from a sick child because it was too hard, too scary, too real. He turned, met Rachel's eyes. I couldn't save my marriage, didn't even want to by the end, but I saved my son, and I learned something. That strength isn't about having money. It's about showing up. It's about fighting when fighting seems impossible. You're doing that, fighting for your daughters, while your husband counts down your death. That takes a kind of courage I deeply respect. So this is about respect? This is about justice. And maybe a little bit of revenge. Your husband has been a thorn in my side for years, undercutting bids, spreading rumors, trying to poach my employees. This gives me an opportunity to remove a competitor and help someone who deserves it. That's not altruism, that's strategy. Rachel appreciated the honesty, no false nobility, no pretending this was pure charity. Just truth. What do you need from me? She asked. Permission to move against him, to protect you, to make sure you and your daughters are secure no matter what happens. And in return? Nothing, I mean that. This isn't a transaction. I don't want your company. I don't want favors. I want your husband to face consequences, and I want you to survive. Those goals align, so we work together. Rachel's phone buzzed, a text from Bryce. Working late again, don't wait up. She showed Dominic. He's probably with her right now. He is. They're at the Riverside Hotel, room 423, checked in at noon. Rachel's stomach dropped. You're having him followed? I'm gathering evidence. There's a difference. Everything I'm doing is legal. Barely, but legal. Show me. Dominic pulled out his phone, pulled up photos. Bryce and Vanessa entering the hotel, holding hands, his hand on her lower back. The casual intimacy of long practice. Rachel studied the photos, waiting to feel something. Heartbreak, rage, anything. But there was only numbness, and beneath it, a cold certainty. This was real. This was happening. There was no going back. I want to file for divorce, she said immediately. Claire's already drafting papers. We'll file next week. But Rachel, there's something you need to know. Something about your medical situation. Her hand went to her belly. What? Dr. Reeves is excellent, one of the best oncologists in the state, but there are better options. Experimental treatments, clinical trials, things that aren't available here. I can't afford experimental treatments. I can. There's a trial in Switzerland, immunotherapy combined with targeted radiation. It's showing an 80% success rate for your type of cancer. I've already contacted them. Secured you a spot. Rachel stood up. Too fast. The room spun. You can't just decide my medical treatment. I'm not deciding anything. I'm offering options. You can stay here. Continue with Dr. Reeves. Hope the modified chemotherapy works. Or you can go to Switzerland after the babies are born. Give yourself the best possible chance. The choice is yours. It's always yours. Switzerland, that must cost. Don't think about cost. Think about your daughters. Think about watching them grow up. First days of school, high school graduation, weddings, grandchildren. Think about living. Rachel sat back down. The babies kicked. Hard. Like they were voting. Like they wanted her to fight. When would I go? After delivery. After you've recovered enough to travel. Probably 6 weeks postpartum. The trial is 3 months long. Intensive. Difficult. But effective. And the babies? While I'm gone? That's up to you. Family, friends, or... He hesitated. I have a large house. Staff. Thomas would love babies around. They could stay here. Completely safe, completely cared for, and you'd video call every day. See them, talk to them, stay connected. Rachel stared at him, at this man offering impossible things, miracles wrapped in legal contracts. I don't understand why you're doing this. Because I can, because it's right, and because maybe somewhere in the mess of helping you, I started caring. About you, about your daughters, about what happens next. The honesty was startling, uncomfortable, real. I need time, Rachel said, to think, to process. This is all happening so fast. Of course. Take all the time you need. But Rachel, the babies need to be delivered soon, doctor. Reeves told Claire that your body is failing faster than expected. You have maybe 3 weeks. 4 if you're lucky. The words hit like fists. 3 weeks. 4 at most. Oh, then delivery. Then whatever came after. How do you know what Dr. Reeves told Claire? Claire and my lawyer are coordinating. She agreed to share medical information. To help me help you. If that bothers you, I'll stop, completely. Just say the word. Rachel thought about it, about privacy, about control, about being so tired she could barely stand. Keep coordinating, she said. I don't have energy to manage everything myself. Thank you for trusting me. I don't trust you, not yet, but I'm trusting Claire, and she trusts you. That's enough for now. Dominic smiled, sad, understanding. Fair enough. Grace drove Rachel home. The house was empty, dark, cold. She turned on lights, made tea, sat at the kitchen table. Her wedding photo hung on the wall. Young faces, happy faces, lies. She took it down, turned it face down on the counter. The back was dusty. How long since she'd really looked at it, really seen it? Years, maybe. Rachel pulled out her phone, scrolled through old photos. Their wedding, their honeymoon, anniversaries, birthday parties, vacations. Every smile suddenly suspicious, every touch potentially performance. Her mother called, Margaret Hartley, 68, retired physician, practical, direct, difficult. Rachel, are you all right? You haven't called in days. I'm fine, Mom. You're lying. I can hear it in your voice. What's wrong? Rachel broke. The tears came fast. Hot, angry. She told her mother everything, the phone call, the affair, the insurance policies, Dominic, Switzerland, all of it. Margaret was silent for a long time. When she spoke, her voice was steel. Pack a bag. You're not staying in that house alone. Mom, I can't just pack a bag. I'll be there in 2 hours. We're going to get through this together, you and me and those babies. What about Bryce? He can go to hell, slowly, painfully, preferably after we've taken everything he owns. Rachel laughed. It came out as a sob. You always hated him. I never said that. You didn't have to. I could tell. He was always too smooth, too perfect. People who work that hard to seem flawless are usually hiding something. I just didn't know it was this. Margaret arrived 90 minutes later. She walked in without knocking, took one look at Rachel and pulled her into a hug. Long, tight, the kind of hug only mothers can give. You're not alone, Margaret said. You're never alone, you hear me? Rachel nodded against her shoulder. The babies kicked. Margaret felt it, laughed. They're strong, good, they'll need to be. That night, Rachel slept in her own bed, Margaret in the guest room. The house felt less empty, less cold, less haunted by the ghost of her marriage. At midnight, Bryce came home. Rachel heard him pause outside the bedroom door. Heard him try the handle. It wasn't locked. He could have come in, but he didn't. His footsteps moved away, down the hall, to his office. Rachel picked up her phone, texted Claire. File the papers. Tomorrow. I'm done waiting. Claire's response was immediate. Already done. He'll be served at his office at 9 a.m. Rachel set the phone down, closed her eyes. Tomorrow, everything would change tomorrow. But this time she was ready. The contractions started at dawn. Sharp, regular, wrong. Rachel woke with a gasp. Her hand went to her belly, hard, tight. The baby's shifting, panicking. Mom! Her voice came out strangled. Margaret appeared in seconds. Nurse mode activated. She timed the contractions, checked Rachel's pulse. Her face went pale. We need to go. Now. It's too early. I'm only 32 weeks. The babies don't care about schedules. Get dressed. I'll call Dr. Reeves. The drive to the hospital was a blur. Margaret drove fast. Too fast. Rachel held onto the door handle, breathed through contractions, 4 minutes apart. Then 3, then 2. Dr. Reeves met them at the emergency entrance. A wheelchair appeared. Nurses swarmed. Rachel was in a labor and delivery room before she could process what was happening. We need to do a C-section, Dr. Reeves said. Calm, professional, certain. Your blood pressure is dangerously high. The babies are in distress. We can't wait. Call Bryce, Rachel said. Someone call my husband. Margaret dialed once, twice, 3 times, straight to voicemail. He's not answering, Margaret said. Her voice was tight, furious. Rachel tried, same result. Voicemail, his cheerful voice. Hi, you've reached Bryce Hartley. Leave a message. Where is he? Rachel's voice broke. Where the hell is he? A nurse squeezed her hand. We need to move fast, with or without your husband. The contractions were coming faster, harder. Rachel could barely breathe between them. Margaret gripped her other hand. I'm here. I'm not leaving. You can't come in? Hospital policy? The hell I can't. I'm a physician, and I'm her mother. Try to stop me. No one tried. They wheeled Rachel to the operating room. Bright lights, cold air, sterile, terrifying. Margaret scrubbed in, stood beside Rachel's head, held her hand. I'm scared, Rachel whispered. I know, sweetheart, but you're strong, stronger than you know. The anesthesiologist worked fast. Epidural, numbness spreading through Rachel's lower body. The room tilted, spun, stabilized. A curtain went up across her chest. Rachel couldn't see, couldn't feel, could only wait. Rachel? She turned her head. Dominic Sterling stood in the doorway. Scrubs, mask, the whole setup. How? Your friend, Claire, called me. Said you were here, said Bryce wasn't answering, asked if I could come. He looked at Margaret. If that's all right with you. Margaret studied him. Doctor eyes, mother eyes, protective eyes. You're the billionaire. I'm Dominic, and I'm here if Rachel wants me here. Rachel nodded, couldn't speak. He came in, took her other hand. His grip was warm, solid, real. You're not alone, he said, I promise. Dr. Reeves began. Rachel felt pressure, tugging, movement, but no pain, just awareness that something was happening. Something irreversible. She counted ceiling tiles. 1, 2, 3. A game she'd played during chemo. How many tiles before the nausea passed? How many before the pain medication kicked in? Now she counted until her daughters were born. 23 tiles. That's how long it took. Baby a nurse's voice. Clinical, then crying, high-pitched, furious, alive. Baby B, more crying, harmony with the first. 2 voices, 2 lives. Hers, Emma and Lily, Rachel said. Her voice broke. Their names are Emma and Lily. They brought them close, briefly. 2 red, angry, perfect faces. Tiny, fragile, beautiful. Their eyes were closed, their mouths open, crying for her. They're beautiful, Margaret whispered, tears streaming down her face. Then the babies were gone. To the NICU, premature but stable, alive, fighting. Reeves kept working, stitching, cleaning, saving Rachel's life for however long she had left. Dominic stayed, his hand in hers, a stranger, who'd shown up when her husband didn't. Recovery was quiet. Rachel lay in a hospital bed. Her body felt hollow, empty, wrong. The babies were 5 floors up, in plastic boxes, breathing with help, learning to live outside her. Margaret went to be with them, to watch over them, to be the grandmother they needed. Dominic brought coffee, real coffee, not hospital sludge, strong, dark, perfect. Thank you, Rachel said, for coming. Thank you for letting me. Where is he? Bryce, where is my husband when his daughters are being born? Dominic's jaw tightened. Do you really want to know? Yes. He's at the Riverside Hotel, same room, with Vanessa. My investigator confirmed it 20 minutes ago. They checked in last night. They're still there. Rachel closed her eyes. The pain wasn't physical. It was deeper, fundamental. The kind of hurt that changed your understanding of reality. He knew I was due soon. Knew it could happen any day. He knew he didn't care. He's celebrating, isn't he? That I made it through delivery. That the babies are here, that his timeline is on track. Dominic didn't answer, didn't need to. Rachel opened her eyes, looked at the ceiling, at the fluorescent lights, at the acoustic tiles. 23 tiles from first cry to second. 23 tiles between before and after. When he gets here, she said, I want you to leave. Can you do that? If that's what you want. It is. This conversation needs to be just him and me. No witnesses, no protection, just truth. Are you sure? I'm sure. Dominic left. Margaret came back, showed Rachel photos of the babies. Emma weighed 3 pounds 12 ounces. Lily weighed 3 pounds 9 ounces, both on oxygen, both stable, both perfect. They look like you, Margaret said. Same nose, same chin, nothing of him in them. Thank God. Rachel tried to smile, couldn't quite manage it. Bryce arrived 2 hours later. Flowers, balloons, a stuffed bear. His hair was wet, recently showered. His clothes were fresh. He'd taken time to make himself presentable. I'm so sorry, baby. His voice was breathless, panicked. Performance. There was an accident on the highway. My phone died. I came as soon as I heard. Margaret stood up, walked toward him. Rachel thought she might hit him, hoped she might, but Margaret just stopped, looked at him with pure contempt. You're a liar, she said, quietly, deadly, and a coward, and my daughter is done with you. She walked out, left them alone. Bryce set down the flowers, the balloons, the bear, came to Rachel's bedside, reached for her hand. Don't, Rachel said. He froze. Don't touch me. Don't apologize. Don't lie. Just stop. Rachel, I don't understand. Stop. Her voice was stronger now. Certain. I know about Vanessa. I know everything. The emails, the texts, the insurance policies. I know you increased my life insurance 6 months ago. I know you insured the babies before they were born. I know you've been waiting for me to die. His face went white, then red. That's not who told you. It doesn't matter who told me. What matters is that it's true. All of it. You've been having an affair for 18 months. You've been planning our future, yours and hers, while I had poison pumped into my veins, while I was pregnant with your children. You waited, hoped, prayed I'd die. I never wanted you to die. You told her my oncologist's prognosis before you told me. You discussed how long I'd last after delivery. You called our daughters part of a real family you'd have with her. Don't lie to me now. Not after everything. Bryce sank into a chair. His hands covered his face. I'm sorry, God, Rachel, I'm so sorry. Sorry isn't enough. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't change what you've done. He looked up, tears on his face. Real or fake? Rachel couldn't tell anymore. Didn't care. What do you want me to do? He asked. I want you to leave this hospital. Pack your things, get out of my house. You have 24 hours. After that, there's a restraining order waiting. Claire's already filed it. The house is half mine. The house is in my name. My parents gave us the down payment. The mortgage is mine. You have nothing. And if you fight me, what Dominic Sterling has planned for you will make bankruptcy look like a blessing. Sterling? You talked to Sterling? Are you insane? He's been trying to destroy me for years. And now he will, unless you do exactly what I say. Sign the divorce papers. Give up custody. Walk away. If you do that, maybe he'll show mercy. But probably not. I'm certainly not going to ask him to. Those babies are mine. Those babies are mine. You gave up any claim when you prayed for my death. When you insured their lives for profit. When you chose your mistress over your family. I have rights. You have nothing. Nothing but the consequences of your choices. Now get out. I need to rest. I need to pump milk for my daughters. I need to figure out how to survive. And you being here makes all of that harder. Bryce stood, shaking, lost. Good. Let him feel lost. Let him feel alone. He walked to the door. Stopped. I did love you, once. I want you to know that. I don't care. Loving me once doesn't erase what you've done. Now go. He left. The flowers stayed. Rachel called a nurse, had them thrown away. Margaret returned, Dominic behind her. They didn't ask questions, just sat with her. Quiet, present, there when she needed them. That evening, Rachel went to the NICU, sat between two incubators. Emma on the left, Lily on the right. She couldn't hold them yet, too fragile, but she pressed her palms against the plastic, felt the warmth radiating from their tiny bodies. I'm here, she whispered. Mommy's here, and I'm not going anywhere, I promise. I'm going to fight. For you, for us, I'm going to live. You watch me. The baby slept, unaware, innocent, perfect. Rachel sat there for hours, until the nurses made her leave, until exhaustion pulled her back to her room, to sleep, to dreams of tile counting and furious cries and two faces that looked exactly like hers. Rachel was discharged 3 days later, against Dr. Reeves's advice. But the babies would be in the NICU for weeks. Rachel couldn't afford to stay hospitalized. She needed to be mobile, functional, ready. Margaret converted the guest room into a recovery suite. Hospital bed, medications, nursing supplies, everything Rachel needed to heal while still pumping milk every 3 hours. The divorce papers were served to Bryce on day 4. He was at his office, surrounded by colleagues. The process server handed him the envelope in the middle of a meeting. Claire made sure of it, made sure everyone saw, made sure everyone knew. Bryce called 90 times that day. Rachel blocked his number. He emailed. She set up a filter. He showed up at the house. Margaret called the police. The restraining order was enacted. He couldn't come within 500 feet. The satisfaction was cold. Clinical. Not enough. But something. Claire arrived with a file 3 inches thick. Evidence. Documentation. Everything they needed to destroy him in court. His lawyer is aggressive, Claire said. Patrick Brennan, high-profile divorce attorney. He's going to claim you're unstable, that Dominic is manipulating you, that Bryce deserves shared custody. Let him try. He'll bring up your cancer, suggest you are not fit to parent. I'm alive. I'm fighting. I'm here. Bryce isn't. That's all that matters. Claire smiled, sharp, predatory. That's exactly what I'll argue. But Rachel, there's something you need to know about the custody laws in this state. What? Even with everything he's done, Bryce is the biological father. Courts are reluctant to completely terminate parental rights. He'll probably get some form of visitation, supervised, limited, but something. Rachel's stomach turned. My daughters don't need him. I know, but legally he has rights, unless we can prove he's a danger to them, or unless he voluntarily surrenders those rights. He won't. He needs them for appearances, to look like the grieving widower trying his best. Then we fight, and we make sure the judge sees exactly who he is. The custody hearing was scheduled for 6 weeks out. 6 weeks to prepare, to document, to build an ironclad case. Rachel spent her days in the NICU, sitting with Emma and Lily, watching them grow, ounce by ounce, day by day. They came off oxygen after 2 weeks, started bottle feeding after 3. The nurses taught Rachel how to hold them, how to feed them, how to love these tiny, fragile miracles. Dominic visited daily, brought food, sat quietly while Rachel pumped milk. Never intrusive, always present. His son Thomas came once, shy, curious. He looked at the babies through the plastic. They're really small, he said. They'll get bigger, Rachel told him. When? Soon, every day they're getting stronger. He nodded, serious. That's good. Dad says you're sick too, that you have cancer. I do. I had cancer, leukemia. It was scary. It is scary. But I got better. You will too. The confidence in his voice was startling. Children believed in happy endings. in recovery, in survival. Rachel envied that certainty. I hope so, she said. You will. Dad says you're a fighter. He likes fighters. Thomas wandered off to look at the machines, at the monitors, at the other babies. Dominic sat beside Rachel, close but not touching. He's right. You are a fighter. I don't feel like one. I feel like I'm barely holding on. That's what fighting looks like. Not glory, not triumph. Just holding on one more day, one more hour, one more minute. Rachel looked at him, really looked. Dominic Sterling was a billionaire, a CEO, a man who commanded boardrooms and built empires. But in this moment, he just looked human, tired, scarred, surviving. Why did you really come that day? She asked. To the hospital, when I was in labor. You could have sent someone, but you came yourself. He was quiet for a long moment, because no one came for me. When Thomas was diagnosed, when he was having surgery, when we didn't know if he'd survive. My wife left, my parents were dead, my friends were busy. I sat in a hospital waiting room alone for hours, days, weeks, and I promised myself that if I ever had the chance, I'd show up for someone else, so they wouldn't have to sit alone. The honesty was devastating, beautiful. Thank you, Rachel whispered, for showing up. Thank you for letting me. That night, Rachel's body gave out. Fever, shaking, pain. The rabies admitted her immediately, ran tests. The results came back brutal. The cancer had spread to her liver, her bones, her brain. Without treatment, she had weeks, maybe a month. With treatment, maybe 6 months. But the treatment would destroy her, leave her unable to care for her daughters, unable to fight for them in court. There's the trial in Switzerland, Rodriguez said gently. Dominic mentioned it. That's your best option. But you'd need to go soon as you're strong enough to travel. The babies will be in the NICU for at least another month. By the time you're done with treatment, they'll be ready to come home. The timing actually works. Rachel lay in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling. 23 tiles, always 23. Her phone rang. Dominic. I heard, he said, no preamble. The cancer spreading. I'm sorry. Me too. The spot in Switzerland is still available. I can have you on a plane in 3 days. The best care in the world. The best chance. You would go, I can't leave my daughters. You can't help them if you're dead. He said, Rachel, listen to me. You go, you fight, you survive. Your mother and I will take care of Emma and Lily. Video calls every day, photos every hour. You'll be connected, always. And in 3 months, you come home, healthy, strong, ready to fight for custody. What if the treatment doesn't work? Then at least you tried. At least you gave yourself every possible chance. That's all anyone can do. Rachel closed her eyes. The babies' faces appeared. Emma's tiny nose, Lily's perfect fingers, their cries, their warmth, their lives depending entirely on her staying alive. Book the flight, she said. I'll go. Good, I'll arrange everything. Medical transport, the best accommodations, a translator, a nurse, whatever you need. Dominic? Yes? Why are you doing all this, really? The truth. Silence. Long, heavy. Then, because I'm falling in love with you, with your strength, with your daughters, with the family we might become. And I need you to survive. Not for me, for you, but also a little bit for me. Rachel's breath caught. That's not fair, to tell me that now when I'm leaving. I know, I'm sorry, but I needed you to know that someone's waiting, someone's hoping, someone believes you'll make it through. I can't think about that, about us, about anything except surviving. I know, just survive. That's all I'm asking. Survive, come home. The rest we'll figure out. The call ended. Rachel lay in the dark, letting tears fall, silent, hot, angry, scared, but beneath it all, a tiny spark. Hope. Fragile, precious, worth fighting for. 3 days later, Rachel boarded a private plane. Margaret stayed with the babies. Claire managed the legal battle. Dominic arranged everything. The flight was long, painful. Rachel slept most of it. When she woke, Switzerland spread below. Mountains, snow, beauty indifferent to suffering. Dr. Klaus Keller met her at the airport. Swiss, precise, kind. Welcome, Mrs. Hartley. We're going to help you fight. The clinic was modern, clean, expensive. Rachel's room overlooked a lake. Absurdly beautiful. The treatment started immediately: immunotherapy, targeted radiation, experimental drugs with names Rachel couldn't pronounce. The side effects hit hard: nausea, fatigue, hair loss, bone pain, everything hurt. But every morning, Margaret video called, showed Rachel the babies. Emma had gained 2 ounces. Lily had started making cooing sounds. They were growing, thriving, living. Keep fighting, sweetheart, Margaret said. They need you. Rachel fought, through pain, through doubt, through nights when death seemed easier than survival. Week 3, the first scans showed progress. The tumors were shrinking. Not remission, but hope. Your body is responding, Dr. Keller said. Keep going. Week 6, more improvement. The brain lesions were smaller, the liver function improving. Her body was fighting back. Week 9, Rachel could walk without help, could eat without vomiting, could imagine a future. The final scans came back on day 87. Dr. Keller smiled when he reviewed them. Actually smiled. No evidence of disease, Neddy. You did it, Mrs. Hartley. Rachel sat in her room, overlooking the lake. Alive. Actually alive. She called Margaret, told her, listened to her mother cry with joy. She called Claire, told her, listened to her friend cheer. She called Dominic, told him, listen to silence. Then, come home, please, come home. I'm coming home, Rachel said. I'm coming home. The flight back to America felt different, lighter. Rachel's body was weak, scarred, changed, but alive, functioning, healing. Margaret met her at the airport with Emma and Lily, 3 months old now, out of the NICU, healthy, beautiful, perfect. Rachel held them for the first time without plastic between them, skin to skin, heart to heart. Emma's eyes were open, blue-gray, serious. Lily's mouth was open, making sounds, protesting, testing. Hi, babies, Rachel whispered. Mommy's home. I'm home. They didn't know her. Not really. 3 months was forever in infant time, but they settled against her. Felt the rightness, the biological certainty of mother and child. The house was different. Margaret had redecorated, painted walls, new furniture, no trace of Bryce anywhere. His office was now a nursery, 2 cribs, matching, ready. He tried to come back, Margaret said. Twice, the police escorted him away both times. His lawyer is pushing for the custody hearing. It's scheduled for next week. I'm ready. Are you sure you just got back? You're still recovering? I'm ready. Let him come. Let him try to take my daughters. I'll destroy him. Claire arrived with files, updates, strategy. Bryce's lawyer was arguing that Rachel was an unfit mother, terminal cancer, abandoned her newborns for 3 months, unstable mental state. He's claiming you're being manipulated by Dominic Sterling, Claire said, that this whole thing is Sterling's revenge plot, that you're just a pawn. Rachel laughed, actually laughed. A pawn, that's rich. It won't work. I have medical records. Dr. Keller's testimony, proof that you went to Switzerland to save your life, not to abandon your children. What about Bryce? What's his defense for the affair? For the insurance policies? For waiting for me to die? He's claiming it was a mistake, a moment of weakness, that he still loves you, wants to reconcile, wants to be a family. Absolutely not. I know, I told his lawyer where he could shove that proposal. But Rachel, he's playing the sympathy card. The devoted husband whose sick wife pushed him away, who made a mistake but wants to make amends. Let him try. I have evidence, recordings, emails, years of planning. The jury will see who he really is. The custody hearing was in a courthouse downtown, old, imposing, justice carved into the stone facade. Rachel dressed carefully, professional, strong, alive. Dominic met her on the steps. He'd flown in from New York, canceled meetings, rearranged his schedule to be there. "You look good," he said. "Healthy. I feel good, strong, ready. I'll be in the courtroom if you need me." "I know, thank you." They walked in together. The courtroom was exactly what Rachel expected. Wood paneling, high ceilings, a judge's bench that looked like a throne. Bryce was already there. With Patrick Brennan, his lawyer was tall, expensive suit, practiced sympathy on his face. The judge entered. Honorable Linda Morrison, 60-something, reading glasses, wedding ring. Photos of grandchildren on her desk. Brennan went first, smooth, practiced, sympathetic. "Your Honor, my client made mistakes. He acknowledges the affair. He regrets it deeply. But he's the biological father of these children. He has rights. He wants to be involved in their lives, to support them, to love them." By waiting for their mother to die, Claire's voice cut through, sharp, deadly. "Objection, inflammatory. Sustain, Miss Donovan, stick to facts." Claire stood, walked to the center of the courtroom. Owned it. Facts. Bryce Hartley conducted an affair for 18 months while his wife was pregnant and undergoing cancer treatment. He increased her life insurance policy 6 months before she became pregnant. He discussed her death timeline with his mistress, planned his future without her, insured his unborn children for profit. She presented evidence, emails projected on a screen, text messages read aloud, financial records dissected. The judge's expression hardened with each revelation. "Mr. Hartley," Judge Morrison said, "you insured your unborn children before you knew they existed?" Bryce stood, shaking. "That's taken out of context." "How is that out of context? Explain it to me. Help me understand." "I wanted to protect my family, Mom." "Your family? The family you were planning to leave? The family you discussed abandoning with your mistress?" Brennan tried to salvage it. "Your Honor, my client was under tremendous stress. His wife was dying, he made poor choices. But that doesn't mean he doesn't love his daughters." "Love?" Rachel's voice rang out, strong, clear. "You want to talk about love?" The judge nodded. "Mrs. Hartley, please approach." Rachel stood, walked to the witness stand, sat down, looked directly at the judge. "I don't hate my husband. I pity him. Because he'll never know what he lost. He'll never know the moment Emma first smiled, or the way Lily grasps my finger like she's holding on to the world. He chose to miss it. He chose his mistress over his family, over his sick wife, over his premature daughters. That's not a mistake. That's character. Do you want him to have no contact with his daughters? I want my daughters to know they're loved, truly loved, unconditionally. He's proven he loves conditionally, when things are easy, when I was healthy, when life was convenient. That's not fatherhood. That's performance." The judge was quiet, thinking. Finally, "Mr. Hartley, I find your actions reprehensible, morally bankrupt, demonstrative of character unfit for parenting. I'm granting Mrs. Hartley full custody. You may request supervised visitation after 1 year of therapy and parent-to-mindfulness classes. Child support is set at $7,000 monthly. Court is adjourned." The gavel came down. Final, absolute justice. Bryce stood, face gray, lost. His lawyer was already gathering papers, already calculating the bill. Rachel walked out, into sunshine, into air that tasted like freedom. Claire hugged her. Margaret cried. Dominic waited by his car, smiling. "You did it," he said. "We did it. What happens now?" "Now I live, really live, not just survive." That evening, Rachel sat in her living room, Emma and Lily on a blanket on the floor, doing tummy time, lifting their heads, getting stronger. Margaret made dinner. Claire opened wine, sparkling cider for Rachel, still on medications. "To Rachel," Claire said, raising her glass, "the strongest woman I know." They drank, talked, laughed. For the first time in months, Rachel felt light, unburdened, free. Later, after everyone left, Rachel sat in the nursery, rocking chair creaking, Emma asleep in her arms, Lily in the crib. The room smelled like baby powder and hope. Her phone buzzed. A text from Dominic. "I meant what I said. About falling in love with you. No pressure, no expectations, just truth. Whenever you're ready, if you're ever ready, I'm here. Rachel read it 3 times. Her heart did something complicated, scary, maybe hopeful. She didn't respond, not yet, but she saved the message for later, for when she was ready to think about futures that included more than just survival. For now, she had her daughters, her health, her freedom. That was enough. More than enough. It was everything. 6 months passed. Emma and Lily grew, crawled, babbled, laughed. Rachel's scans stayed clear. Ned. No evidence of disease. The words she'd dreamed of hearing. Life found a rhythm. Morning bottles, naps, tummy time, stroller walks. Margaret moved in permanently. Not because Rachel needed help, just because she wanted to be there, to watch her granddaughters grow. Dominic visited 3 times a week, bringing dinner, helping with bath time. Thomas came too, shy at first, then comfortable. He'd sit on the floor, let the twins grab his fingers, pull his hair. He never complained, just laughed. They're strong, he'd say. Impressed. They are, Rachel would agree. Bryce completed his therapy, his parenting classes, requested supervised visitation. Rachel agreed, once a month. 2 hours, a therapist present. The first visit was awkward. Bryce held Emma, then Lily, stiff, uncertain, like holding breakable things he didn't understand. They're beautiful, he said. Yes. Do they ask about me? Rachel wanted to laugh or cry. They're 7 months old, Bryce. They don't ask about anything. Right, of course. He tried to engage, sang a song, off key. Emma cried. Lily looked confused. The therapist intervened, showed him how to hold them properly, how to support their heads. Basic things he should have learned months ago. After 2 hours, Rachel collected her daughters. Bryce looked defeated. Good. Let him feel defeated. Same time next month? The therapist asked. Rachel nodded. Professional. Detached. This was obligation, not reconciliation. Vanessa appeared 3 weeks later, unexpected. Rachel was loading the twins into the car. Target run. Diapers. Formula. The endless supplies babies required. Rachel? Rachel turned. Vanessa stood on the sidewalk. Thin. Tired. Different from the polished woman in the photos. What do you want? To apologize. I know it's not enough. I know I have no right. But I needed to try. You slept with my husband while I was dying, while I was pregnant, while I was fighting cancer. What could you possibly say that would matter? Nothing makes it better. I was selfish, cruel. I believed his lies because I wanted to, because it was easier than admitting what we were doing was wrong. Rachel studied her. This woman who'd been the villain, who looked young, lost, human. Are you still with him? No, I left him 3 months ago. He started lying to me too, smaller things at first, then bigger. I realized I'd just been convenient. A placeholder until something better came along. And now you're here because I wanted you to know and I'm sorry. Because I see your daughters and I realize what I almost destroyed. Because I'm trying to be a better person, even though it's too late. Rachel could have been cruel, could have destroyed this woman with words. But she was tired of destruction, tired of hate. I appreciate the apology, but Vanessa, stay away from my family, please. Just stay away. Vanessa nodded, tears on her face. I will. I promise, Bao. She walked away. Rachel loaded the twins, drove to Target, bought diapers, formula, baby food, normal things, regular things, life things. That evening, Dominic brought dinner, Thai food, Rachel's favorite. They ate while the twins played on the floor. Margaret supervised. Thomas helped, stacking blocks, knocking them down, making the babies laugh. Vanessa came by today, Rachel said. Dominic's fork paused. What did she want? To apologize. Did you accept? I acknowledged it. I'm not sure that's the same as accepting. How do you feel? Rachel thought about it, really thought. I feel just nothing, no anger, no satisfaction, just nothing. She's not important anymore. None of them are. Good, that's healthy. Is it, or am I just numb? You're healing. There's a difference. After dinner, after Thomas and Margaret took the twins upstairs for bath time, Rachel and Dominic sat on the back porch. The evening was cool, quiet, perfect. "I've been thinking," Dominic said, "about what I said, about falling in love with you." Rachel's heart rate picked up. "Okay. I meant it. I still mean it. But I also understand if you're not ready. If you're never ready, I'm not going anywhere. Whatever you need, friend, support system, or eventually maybe something more. I'm here." "I'm not ready," Rachel said. Honest, direct. For romance, for relationship, for anything except being a mother and surviving. "I know, but I care about you and Thomas and what we're building, this thing, whatever it is." "Family," Dominic said. "We're building family. Chosen family. The best kind." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the sunset, listening to baby laughter from upstairs, building something new from the ashes of what was lost. A week later, Rachel's phone rang, unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. "Mrs. Hartley, this is Dr. Reeves. I have some news about your latest scans." Rachel's world stopped. Scans. She'd had routine scans 3 days ago. Follow-up, monitoring. They were supposed to be clear. They were always clear now. What kind of news? Good news. Excellent news, actually. Not only is there still no evidence of disease, but the scar tissue from the treatments is healing faster than expected. Your prognosis has improved significantly. I'm comfortable saying you're cancer-free. Cancer-free, not NED, not remission, free. Are you sure? As sure as medicine allows. Continue with your follow-up schedule. Keep taking care of yourself. But Rachel, you made it. You survived. Rachel ended the call, sat on the couch, stared at nothing, cancer-free, alive, healthy, whole. She called Margaret, told her. Listened to her mother sob with relief. She called Claire, told her. Listened to her friend scream with joy. She called Dominic, told him. Listened to silence, then, "I'm coming over." He arrived 30 minutes later, Thomas with him. They brought flowers, grocery store flowers, cheap, beautiful, perfect. Thomas hugged her. "Dad told me, you beat cancer, just like me, just like you. We're both strong." We are. That evening they celebrated. Pizza, ice cream, sparkling cider. The twins smeared food everywhere. Thomas laughed. Margaret cried happy tears. Claire gave speeches. Dominic just smiled. Quiet, content. There, Rachel looked around her living room, at this makeshift family. This chosen tribe, these people who'd shown up, who'd stayed, who'd fought beside her. This was happiness, not perfect, not easy, but real, true, worth everything she'd survived to reach it. The idea came slowly, quietly, like all the best ideas do. Rachel was at a support group, cancer survivors, women who understood, who'd fought, who'd lived. They shared stories, fears, victories, and Rachel kept hearing the same refrain. I couldn't afford treatment. I had to choose between chemo and rent. I terminated my pregnancy to start treatment immediately. I delayed treatment and the cancer spread. I went bankrupt from medical bills. The unfairness burned. Rachel had survived because she had resources, money, support, access. But what about women who didn't, who faced impossible choices, who fought alone? That night she called Dominic. I want to start a foundation for women with cancer, especially mothers, pregnant women, women with young children. I want to fund their treatment, provide childcare, support systems, everything I had, everything everyone should have. Silence, then, okay, let's do it. Just like that? You don't need details, business plans, projections? I trust you. If you say it's needed, it's needed. I'll provide startup capital. You build the vision. We'll figure out the rest together. Rachel worked for 6 months. Planning, organizing, recruiting doctors, lawyers, social workers, finding space, creating systems, building something permanent. The foundation opened on Emma and Lily's first birthday. Rachel's mother had insisted on combining the celebrations, Birthday party in the afternoon, ribbon cutting in the evening. The party was chaos. Pink and purple balloons, a cake shaped like butterflies, Emma and Lily in matching dresses, frosting everywhere. Thomas helped them blow out candles, meaning he blew while they shrieked with delight. Margaret watched, tears streaming. This is what joy looks like. Claire documented everything. Photos, videos, for when they're older, so they know they were loved. The ribbon cutting was more formal. Press, donors, politicians. Rachel stood at the podium, Emma and Lily in matching carriers on her chest, Dominic beside her, Thomas holding the scissors. This foundation is for every woman who faces impossible choices, Rachel said. Her voice was strong, clear, certain. Who chooses life when it's hard? Who fights when everyone says surrender? You're not alone. You never were. We're here. We're ready. We're fighting beside you. The crowd applauded. The ribbon was cut. The doors opened. The first patient was a 28-year-old woman, pregnant, stage 2 breast cancer, no insurance, no family, no options. We'll take care of you, Rachel told her. Everything, treatment, childcare, support. You just focus on surviving. The woman cried, "Why? You don't know me." "I don't need to know you. I just need to help you. Someone helped me, now I help you. That's how this works." The foundation grew, treated 20 women the first year, 50 the second, 100 by year 3. Success stories, survivors, mothers watching their children grow. Rachel's own health stayed strong. Scans every 6 months. Always clear. Her hair grew back, thicker, curlier, different but beautiful. Her body healed, scarred but functional, changed but alive. Emma and Lily grew into toddlers, different personalities emerging. Emma was serious, thoughtful, quiet. Lily was loud, adventurous, fearless. Rachel loved them equally, completely, fiercely. Bryce's visits continued. Once a month, always supervised, always awkward. The twins barely knew him, cried when he held them, reached for Rachel, for Margaret, for anyone familiar. They just need time, the therapist said. But time didn't help. The twins knew. Children always knew who showed up, who stayed, who loved them without conditions. Dominic and Thomas became fixtures. Daily visits, dinner 3 times a week, holidays together, beach trips, park days. Thomas taught the twins to stack blocks, to share toys, to laugh at jokes they didn't understand yet. "Are you my dad's girlfriend?" Emma asked one day, almost 3 years old, precocious, direct. Rachel knelt down, eye level. "Your dad is a very good friend. To me, to you and Lily, to Grandma. Is that okay?" "Okay, can we have snacks?" "Yes." Children accepted what adults complicated. Dominic was there. That was enough. Labels didn't matter. But Rachel was starting to wonder if labels might matter to her. If the careful distance she'd maintained was protection or cowardice. If loving again meant risking again. If that was okay. One evening after the twins were asleep, after Margaret had gone to bed, Rachel and Dominic sat on the back porch. Their usual spot, comfortable, safe, familiar. "I've been thinking," Rachel said. "About?" "You, me. This thing we're doing." Dominic went still. "Okay. I'm not ready for romance. I might never be ready. But I'm also realizing that what we have is already more than friendship. We're raising children together, building a foundation together, living parallel lives that intersect constantly." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that if you asked me on a date, I might say yes, just to see, just to try." Dominic smiled, slow, beautiful, real. "Rachel Hartley, would you like to have dinner with me? Alone. No children, no foundation work. Just us, talking, seeing where this goes." "Yes, I would like that." "When?" "Next Saturday. Margaret can watch the twins. We'll go somewhere nice. Try being adults instead of co-parents." It's a date. They didn't kiss, didn't touch, just sat, letting the possibility settle, comfortable with potential, patient with process. That night, Rachel lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. 23 tiles, always 23. But now they felt, well, different. Hopeful instead of haunted. Full of possibility instead of pain. Her phone buzzed, a text from Dominic. I've been waiting 3 years for you to be ready. I can wait 3 more if needed. No pressure, no expectations, just gratitude that you're considering it. Rachel smiled, typed back. I'm considering it. Let's see what happens. She set the phone down, closed her eyes, felt something unfamiliar. Light, warm, almost like happiness, but deeper, more fundamental, like peace she'd survived. Built something beautiful from ashes, created family from strangers, learned that love wasn't about blood or vows or permanence. It was about showing up, staying present, choosing connection despite risk. Tomorrow she'd be a mother, a foundation director, a cancer survivor, a woman building something new. But tonight she was just Rachel, alive, whole, ready for whatever came next. The date happened, then another, slowly, carefully, like two people learning a new language, one word at a time. Dominic was patient, never pushing, never demanding, just there consistently, persistently, showing up. Rachel was cautious, walls up, heart guarded, testing, waiting for the betrayal, the disappointment, the proof that this couldn't be real. But it was real. Dates turned into months, months turned into a year, and nothing broke, nothing shattered, just steady building, foundation, structure, home. The twins turned 4. Emma started asking questions. Why does Dominic live somewhere else? Because that's where his house is. But he's here every day. He visits every day. Thomas stays in the guest room sometimes. Why doesn't Dominic? Margaret laughed at that one. Out of the mouths of babes. They notice everything, Rachel said. They do. So what are you going to do about it? I don't know. But she did know. She was scared, terrified. The last time she'd trusted someone completely, he'd waited for her death. How could she trust again? How could anyone? Dominic found her one evening, sitting in the nursery, now a bedroom for 2 little girls, beds instead of cribs, toys instead of mobiles, growth, change, life. You're thinking too hard, he said. I always think too hard. Want to talk about it? Rachel turned, looked at him, really looked. 5 years since he'd first appeared in her life. 5 years of showing up, supporting, loving, never leaving. How do I know you won't change? That this isn't temporary? You don't. You can't. That's the risk. But Rachel, I can tell you this. I loved my ex-wife, committed to her, built a life with her, and she walked away when things got hard. It destroyed something in me, made me careful, guarded, exactly like you. So what changed? You, watching you fight, watching you choose your daughters over everything, watching you survive. It showed me what real strength looks like, what real love looks like. And I decided that if you could risk everything for your children, I could risk everything for you. That's not fair. Using my own strength against me. He smiled. I never said I fought fair. What are you asking me, Dominic? I'm asking if you'll marry me, slowly, on your terms, when you're ready, if you're ever ready. I'm asking if you'll let me be more than a visitor in your life, if you'll let me be family, officially, permanently. You don't have a ring. I have this. He pulled out a small box, opened it. Inside was a simple band, white gold, no diamond, just metal, solid, real. I didn't want to presume, didn't want to make this about jewelry or grand gestures, just wanted to ask honestly, simply, will you marry me? Rachel took the box, held it, felt the weight. I need time. I know. I need to be sure, not just for me, for Emma and Lily, for Thomas, for all of us. I know. Ask me again in 6 months, if you still want to. I will, every 6 months until you say yes or tell me to stop asking. Rachel laughed, actually laughed. You're persistent. I'm in love with you. Of course I'm persistent. 6 months passed. Dominic asked again. Rachel said, not yet. 6 months after that, same question, same answer. The third time, Emma and Lily were 5, starting kindergarten. Backpacks, lunchboxes, growing up so fast Rachel's heart hurt. Dominic knelt in the kitchen. Morning chaos. Margaret making breakfast. Thomas packing lunches. The twins arguing about whose turn it was to pick the TV show. Rachel Hartley, will you marry me? The kitchen went quiet. Everyone staring, waiting. Rachel looked at her daughters, at Thomas, at Margaret, at Dominic, at this family they'd built from nothing, from betrayal and cancer and impossible odds. Yes, she said, but slowly and on our terms. Always. They married 6 months later in the backyard. Small ceremony. Emma and Lily as flower girls. Thomas as ring bearer. Margaret officiated. Claire gave Rachel away. No white dress, no grand gesture, just family. Real, messy, perfect. The vows were simple, honest. I promise to show up, to stay present, to choose us every day, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Bryce wasn't invited, didn't need to be. This wasn't about him, had never been about him. This was about building something new, something real, something earned. After the ceremony, after the cake, after the twins fell asleep in their beds, Rachel and Dominic sat on the back porch. Married, officially, finally. How do you feel, he asked, terrified. Good, me too. Really? Really, I'm terrified I'll fail you, that I won't be enough, that something will break. So what do? We try anyway, we show up, we stay present, we choose each other, over and over, until it becomes habit, until it becomes home. Rachel leaned against him. Let herself be held. Let herself trust. I'm glad you showed up, that day at the hospital, when I needed someone. I'm glad you let me stay. For what it's worth, I love you. I don't think I've said it, but I do. Love you, choose you, want this. It's worth everything. They sat under stars, building the future, one moment at a time, one choice at a time, one day at a time, cancer-free, 5 years and counting, married, Millionaire Foundation director, survivor, alive. Rachel had been so many things, would be so many more. But tonight she was just herself, whole, happy, home. Emma and Lily turned 5, then 6, then 7. Time moved relentlessly, beautifully. Kindergarten became first grade. First grade became second. The twins grew, changed, became themselves. Emma was still serious, the thinker, the planner, the one who read books and asked questions and wanted to understand everything. Lily was still wild, the dreamer, the adventurer, the one who climbed trees and collected bugs and feared nothing. Rachel loved them equally, completely, watched them become people, distinct, individual, hers. Thomas was 15 now, teenager, tall, awkward, keen-time. He helped with homework, drove the twins to activities, complained about being their chauffeur, but smiled the whole time. The foundation thrived, treated over 500 women now, success stories, survivors, lives saved, families preserved. Rachel's scans stayed clear, 7 years cancer-free, then 8, then 9. The fear of recurrence never fully left, but it quieted, became background noise instead of constant screaming. Dominic's business grew, Sterling Technologies expanded internationally, but he was never gone, never absent, delegated, managed, prioritized family over fortune. Margaret was 76 now, slowing down, but still sharp, still present, still the grandmother her girls needed. Claire was partner at her firm, successful, powerful, single by choice. I love my life, she'd say. Why would I change it? And Bryce? Bryce was there, but not there. Supervised visits happened quarterly now. The twins went reluctantly, came back quiet, confused. Do we have to go? Lily asked one Saturday morning. It's your choice, Rachel said. You're old enough to decide. I don't want to, Emma said, firm, certain. He's a stranger. It's awkward. He tries too hard. Okay, you don't have to go if you don't want to. What about him, thought Lily asked. Won't his feelings be hurt? Rachel knelt, eye level, the way she always did for important conversations. Your feelings matter more than his. You don't owe anyone your time or attention, especially someone who wasn't there when it mattered. The visit stopped. Bryce's lawyer tried to fight it, but the girls were old enough. Their wishes mattered. The court sided with them. Rachel felt nothing about it. No satisfaction, no anger, just acceptance. Some people weren't meant to be parents. Some people made choices that couldn't be undone. The foundation held its 10th anniversary gala. Black tie, donors, politicians, women whose lives had been saved. Rachel stood at the podium, Dominic beside her, the twins in fancy dresses in the front row, Thomas in a suit, Margaret dabbing tears. 10 years ago, I was dying, Rachel said. Her voice carried, strong, clear, true. I had cancer, 2 premature babies, a husband who was waiting for me to die. I had every reason to give up, but I didn't, because of the people who showed up, who fought beside me, who taught me that family isn't about blood. It's about choice, about presence, about love that doesn't quit when things get hard. She gestured to the audience. This foundation exists because someone showed up for me. Now we show up for you, for every woman facing impossible choices, for every mother fighting for her life, for every family that needs support. We're here. We're not leaving. We're fighting beside you. The applause was thunderous. The donations flooded in. The night was a success, but the moment Rachel treasured most came later. After everyone left, after the twins were in bed, after Thomas had gone to his room, after Margaret had said goodnight. Rachel and Dominic sat on their back porch, their spot, their tradition, years of conversations, decisions, dreams. Do you remember the first time we sat here? Rachel asked. I remember everything. I was so scared, so broken, so sure I couldn't trust anyone ever again. I know. But you waited, showed up, stayed, even when I was difficult, even when I pushed you away. You were worth waiting for. Rachel turned, faced him, took his hands. I need to tell you something. Dominic went still, alert. Okay. I'm pregnant. Silence, complete, absolute. Then, what? Pregnant, 10 weeks. I found out 2 days ago. I wanted to wait until after the gala to tell you. Didn't want to distract from the foundation. You're pregnant. You can be pregnant. The doctor said it was unlikely, not impossible. Apparently, my body decided to surprise everyone. But the cancer, the treatment, is it safe? Dr. Reeves says yes, my body is healthy, strong. The pregnancy is low risk. We just need to monitor carefully. Stay vigilant, but it's safe, it's happening. Dominic pulled her close, held her, tight, real. We're having a baby. We are. I'm terrified. Me too. But also happy. Me too. They sat like that, holding each other, feeling the weight and wonder of new life. Unexpected, unplanned, perfect. The twins took the news with typical 7-year-old logic. Another baby? Emma asked. Skeptical. Yes. Where will it sleep? We'll figure it out. Can we name it? Lily asked. Excited. You can help. Thomas was quiet, then, is it mine? Like, will I be its brother? You already are its brother. Same as your Emma and Lily's brother. Cool. I've never had a baby sibling before. Just cancer surviving ones. Rachel laughed. This one will be boring. No drama, just regular baby stuff. Boring sounds good. The pregnancy was carefully monitored. Monthly scans, weekly checkups. Dr. Reeves watched everything, ready to act at the first sign of trouble. But there was no trouble, just a healthy pregnancy. Normal, unremarkable, boring in the best possible way. Rachel gave birth at 38 weeks. Natural delivery, no complications. A boy, 8 pounds 3 ounces, healthy, perfect, screaming with impressive lung capacity. He's mad, the nurse said, laughing. He's alive, Rachel said. Let him be mad. They named him Jacob. after no one, just because they liked the name, because he was his own person, not a memorial, not a symbol, just Jacob. Emma and Lily were fascinated, wanted to hold him constantly, to feed him, to help, to be big sisters. Thomas took photos, sent them to everyone. My brother, he'd say, proud, certain. Margaret cried happy tears. A grandson. After all this, a grandson. Claire brought gifts, impractical ones. Clothes that said future lawyer and raised by feminists. The foundation staff sent flowers, cards, donations in Jacob's name. Life was full, messy, loud, beautiful. One evening when Jacob was 3 months old, Rachel found herself alone with Haman. The twins at a sleepover, Thomas at a friend's house, Dominic at a late meeting, Margaret asleep. She sat in the nursery, rocking chair creaking, Jacob asleep in her arms. The room was quiet, peaceful, full of the best kind of ordinary. Rachel looked at her son, at this miracle child, this unexpected gift, this proof that life continued, that happiness was possible, that survival wasn't the end of the story, just the middle. She thought about 7 years ago, sitting in a bathtub fully clothed, sinking, letting the weight pull her down, the baby's kicking, fighting, demanding she surface. She'd survived, built a life from ashes, found love in unexpected places, created family from choice instead of obligation. The hardest part had been admitting she knew all along, that Bryce never really loved her, that the marriage was performance, that she'd been willfully blind. But the best part was this: right here, right now, a sleeping baby, a full house, a chosen family, a life worth every painful step it took to reach it. Her phone buzzed, a text from Emma. Having fun at sleepover. Love you, Mom. Tell Jacob I love him too. Another text from Lily. I miss you already. Can we come home early? Rachel smiled, typed back. Having fun is good. I love you too. See you tomorrow. Dominic came home, found her in the nursery, sat beside her, looked at their son. He's perfect, Dominic said. He is. How do you feel? Happy, grateful, terrified something will go wrong. Nothing's going to go wrong. You can't promise that. No, but I can promise I'll be here. Whatever happens, good, bad, terrifying, boring, I'm here. I know. Do you really know? Rachel thought about it, about trust, about love, about choosing vulnerability despite risk. I do. Finally, after all this time, I really do. They sat together, watching Jacob sleep, building the future, one breath at a time. Emma and Lily came home the next day, burst through the door, wanted to hold Jacob immediately. Gentle, Rachel reminded them. We know, Mom, we're not babies. But they were gentle, so gentle. Emma held him carefully. Lily sang to him, Chamarsuon, sweet, made-up songs about brothers and sisters and families. Thomas came home, teenage boy trying to be cool. But he smiled when he held Jacob. He's pretty cool, for a baby. Margaret made dinner, too much food. The table was chaos, laughter, arguments, spills, normal, beautiful, real. After dinner, after baths, after bedtime stories, after everyone was asleep, Rachel walked through her house, this home they'd built, this life they'd created. Photos on the walls, the twins' artwork, Thomas's basketball trophies, Jacob's hospital bracelet framed, moments captured, preserved, treasured. She stopped at the guest bathroom, the one where she'd sat 7 years ago, fully clothed in the bathtub, sinking, drowning, barely surviving. Rachel turned on the light, looked at the tub. It was just a tub now, clean, white, empty. No ghosts, no trauma, just ceramic and water. She turned off the light, walked away. That woman was gone. She'd been necessary. Her suffering had been real. Her pain had been valid. But she wasn't Rachel anymore. Rachel now was stronger, scarred, complicated, whole. A survivor who'd learned that happiness wasn't avoiding pain. It was surviving pain. Being brave. being loved imperfectly by people who showed up anyway. She went to bed. Dominic already asleep. She climbed in beside him, felt his warmth, his presence, his choice to be there, every day, every night. No conditions, no timelines, just love. Simple, true, real. Tomorrow she'd be a mother of four, a wife, a foundation director, a survivor, a woman still learning, still growing, still becoming. But tonight she was just Rachel, happy, home, exactly where she was supposed to be. And that was enough. More than enough. It was everything. Thank you for staying with me through Rachel's journey, from that devastating phone call at 3 a.m. to building a family she never imagined possible. If Rachel's story touched your heart, please hit that like button. Your support helps stories like this reach other women who need to hear them. Women who are fighting their own battles, who need to know they're not alone. Drop a comment and tell me, what moment in Rachel's story resonated with you most? Was it her strength during treatment? Her choice to trust again? Or maybe the way Dominic showed up when no one else did? I read every single comment, and your thoughts mean everything. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it, someone facing impossible choices, someone learning to rebuild after betrayal, someone who needs to remember that survival is possible, that happiness after trauma is real. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story, because every week I bring you tales of strength, resilience, and the power of chosen family. Remember Rachel's words: real happiness isn't avoiding pain or being loved perfectly. It's surviving pain and being loved imperfectly by people who show up anyway. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this community. Until next time, keep fighting. Keep choosing yourself. Keep believing that your story isn't over. The best chapters might still be ahead. See you in the next story.